international other hospitals?
See, there are a lot of subjective thoughts on that. Generally, people do their their own own methodology of doing that. Sometimes they also bypass some of the steps. Like instead of local storage, they directly transport the waste from segregation to final disposal site. Right? Sometimes people are doing autoclaving and disinfection on their own. Right? So in that case, the methodology differs. But in Gujarat, majority of the hospitals are doing outsourcing. So you don't have to deal with the disinfection, mutilation, or final disposal. So this practice varies from hospital to hospital. It may be from location to location the process may be different.
Can you elaborate how mercury, if it's spilled?
Yeah, there is a specific method for dealing with mercury. There is a specific mercury kit which may be commercially available, but in Apollo we have made on our own, in which we have kept a simple box in which there is a cardboard box, there is a container for collecting the mercury, there is a label, and there is a bottle of 1% sodium hypochlorite. So whenever any mercury spill is there, and when you get the intimation, the concerned person should go there and they cordon the area. Right? They also check and they, so that that mercury doesn't go here and there. They also place that portion board there and they put the mercury with the help of cardboard board into that bottle. It is properly sealed, it is properly labeled, and it is sent for environmental waste management.
And does it at time require windows or fan has to be closed or anything?
See, ideally, if it is in a small quantity, it doesn't give that much of toxic fumes or properties. But if it is in large quantity, then yes, you need to open the door, open the windows.
Open the windows.
I
have heard close the windows.
No, because that fume has to go out. Otherwise, it will suffocate you.
Okay.
But in hospital nowadays, we have mercuryless hospital, and we hardly use any sphygmomanometer nowadays. So there is very less chance of getting mercury splash.
The new guidelines which you have mentioned in your slide, that guidelines were not got in a hospital. So
see, these are not any standard guidelines. This is what we have made. Right? NABH says the standards. That in infection control chapter there are guidelines. Right? That you should follow the process from segregation to disposal in a such a way that your infection is minimized, infection is prevented. But how exactly you do, how exactly you implement your processes, that's up to you.
So that means that we have to implement according to the NABH or according to the GPCB.
See,
GPCB is saying that you have to manage according to us.
See, if you see the guidelines, the NABH guidelines and GPCB guidelines are not different. Right? In a nutshell or in a conceptualized framework, they both are the same. GPCB mainly says the segregation, right? Which color code is used for which kind of waste. Right? It may differ from state to state. If you go to Maharashtra, if you go to Karnataka, that color coding may be different. Right? So we need to follow the local guidelines, and even NABH says you follow the local guidelines. So for segregation point of view, we follow GPCB guidelines. Initially, there wasn't any black color. There wasn't any green color. But now they have introduced green color for general test. Earlier, the black color was used for general test.
Sir, how to dispose of pressurized empty cylinders, certain spray or?
See, generally we don't deal with that final disposal. But I think, as far as I know, I may be incorrect. But any pressurized container or any bottle are first pricked. They are punctured. If I'm not mistaken, as far as I know, they are punctured so that it doesn't cause any injury. It doesn't cause any pressure burst at the time of disposal. And then it is disinfected and goes into autoclaving.
What kind of radiation hazards?
If you are using any radioactive material like phosphorus, iodine, or if you are into radiation oncology, there are a lot of substances which emit the radiation, the source what we call. Right? So whenever you deal with that source, when you use that, of course we generally observe the radiation safety protocols. But when you dispose of that source, that there are specific guidelines. You need to dilute the source. You need to run the water after source in a sewage line. So there are a lot of guidelines given by GPCB as well as the AERB, that is Atomic Energy Regulation Board. So you can't throw it away, or you can't put it simply into your dustbin. So it has to be washed down in your sewage line, and you need to pass on so many liters of water into drain.
So radioactive waste material is generated in what quantity?
It's very minor, but it's very the potential hazards are very huge, right? Because it emits the radiation. So the radiation exposure is much more serious and severe.
Doctor, there has been quite a debate going on, especially in the Western countries, regarding the pros and cons of fumigation that we generally do, and many consider it as an obsolete procedure gradually. So we would like to know from your Apollo Hospital's view whether you still consider that practice, or we are doing that or not.
Yeah, we have stopped the fumigation, and rather we do the carbonization.
Okay.
Right? So because carbonization is considered as a safer and more effective method than what we had in fumigation or other earlier techniques. So the carbonization is done in a phased manner.
So, but instead of formaldehyde, nowadays EcoShield or
Yes. So there are a lot of other disinfection material are coming into market.
Yeah.
So which are used because formaldehyde has very toxic and irritant properties. So when we go into that room after fumigation or carbonization, it gives a stink and it remains there for a couple of hours. So it's really irritating, formaldehyde.
Waste control is also under your area?
Yes, it is in housekeeping, but it is not pertaining to biomedical waste management per se. Thank you.
No more questions, I guess. Eco-friendly or go green is very much in thing these days because that safeguards our lives. Hospital staff is day in and day out prone to infections, and so are the relatives of the patients. And it definitely comes under the purview of the hospital management to manage the waste. Thank you, doctor, so much for sharing your inputs on waste management, the Apollo way, the ideal way. May I request Sukhar sir to give the memento to the sir, please. We move on to the next session. It's on legal compliances required for hospitals and nursing homes in Gujarat. Well, ignorance is not a bliss here. It's survival of the fittest. Jo dar gaya, wo mar gaya. It's need of the hour. When word legal we hear, it clicks in our mind that a law prepared by government we need to follow. But as we know in India, n number of laws are there, but how many of them are applicable for hospitals will be highlighted by Mr. Mahesh Patel, and implications may arise if not followed. Dr. Mahesh Patel is Project Manager at Apollo Hospitals International, Ahmedabad. And he is currently working at the Department of Hospital Management, Hemachandra Acharya, North Gujarat University. He is a visiting lecturer there. And he was previously with Premier Hospital, Pushpak Hospital, KB Ahmedabad Homeopathic Hospital, Assistant Manager Operations and Quality at Apollo Hospital. The list is endless. May I invite Dr. Patel on the stage, please.
Rajkot, 1 to 4 p.m., cold room, and after lunch, it is a bit difficult to keep awake, and it is a sedative dose, particularly we can say. And my topic is legal compliance requirement for the starting a small nursing home. Recently, I have attended one small legal compliance workshop which was conducted by NABH. They have listed 179 compliance required by the hospital. So, after this, welcome to medical career. After a time of 5, 6, 7, 10 years, after getting MBBS, MS, MD, DNB, it is how frustrating for a doctor to get into the different windows, and it has to be compliant. So, inevitable intersection on the life of road of life, morally or legally. Morally, what we have invested, we need to get back, and legally we cannot, compromise. So, what to do? So why legally? So I can say just do it. There is no way. Right? Now we'll understand the basic cycle of any legal formality. That is the first is the application. Second we need to the process. That is the fulfill the prerequisites of the application. Then certification, and then it is a renewal. So this is the cycle, and most of the licenses are renewal basis, and only very few licenses which are available at one time. So if you done one time, whole life you don't have to worry. But most of the licenses are you need to continue the process every time, every year, depend on the defined interval. Now for doing this, you first of all need to identify nodal points. License cannot be handled by multiple people in an organization. It has to be handled by only one person. So there will be liability, accountability. So first thing, whenever you are starting any new hospital, remember there are list of license available. I told you just now 179 license and statutory obligations which we need to follow. That might not require certification, but we need to adhere to that. Say an example, child labor. We don't require any certificate, but we need to follow that. So prepare checklist. At presently, for running Apollo Hospital, we require 55 licenses. So we'll go through here the few basic licenses which are required for starting a small nursing home. So whenever you are starting a hospital, checklist, prepare which license is applicable to you, which are obligations you need to fulfill, and what you not need to do. Now understand the exact requirement of the application. What is the requirement? Don't misinterpret, because legal things we say pyrexia and fever. Fever might be known by everyone, but pyrexia, it is something like that. So understand the exact requirement of the application. What does that mean? Don't go, otherwise there will be again babus, and we have to deal with them. So apply the application. Now what to do? This is babu. Nothing we can do, only follow, and that we have to do. Now be ready for the inspection. After every application, after every this, we need to face an inspection in most of the licenses. Now what to do? After even preparation of checklist, fulfilling the prerequisites, there will be few surprises. Now what? Ye kya aa gaya? But obviously these things will be there in your when you are going through a legal process. As I am handling it presently projects, we are going for another 2 hospitals in Gujarat. So it is first thing is legal. If we are complying to that, then we will move to next step. So now we will start with a few basic licenses which are required for the small nursing home. This is the first license which is required, that is the building use certification. That is the procedure is to apply proposed building structure plan. First of all, we need to get it drawn, with the civil engineer architect approved drawing that has to be approved by the municipal corporation, and then implement same as advised, as approved, and that will be as per the national building code, which will be which will be complying the fire safety norm as well. So what is the process? Approve building plan to be executed, simple. But before executing, definitely consult Vastu Shastri. I will tell you one example. Recently we are going with a 55-bedded cardiac center in Ahmedabad itself. Our MD said, first thing you should do, go to vasculogist. Okay, we went. That guy from 55 bed, he came down to 45 beds. तो बोले यहाँ ये टॉयलेट नहीं होना चाहिए, बिलिंग नहीं होना चाहिए, रिसेप्शन नहीं होना चाहिए, पेशेंट का असर इस तरफ नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक नहीं होगा, this and that, everything, blah blah blah, and definitely we are complying to that. Just now I was talking to Sukhal sir, एक staircase था central में Apollo के, from base the ground floor to 5th floor, there was one staircase, which was recently we have removed. There was one central one staircase going from ground to 5th floor, we have removed only because of Vastu Shastra. So it is a time when our management, top management, that is the MD, chairman, they believe, and whichever projects we are coming up in future, we are definitely considering Vastu logist. And once he signs, then and then we will move ahead. So definitely, so this will be same for you, like brand like Apollo, but this is the fact.
You have to procure a certificate from Vastu Shastri.
Yeah, definitely. We have to get it signed from them. This is okay. Then and then only.
Apollo's own Vastu Shastri.
Apollo's own Vastu Shastri.
Yeah.
How is it affected after removing the staircase?
So I don't know financially, but clinically and operational I can say.
Stability must have been hampered in that case.
No, but we don't know, but actually we are not monitored, but on an average we monitor all the parameters, more than 300 parameters we monitor, apart from 64 NAB's quality parameter, we monitor 300 quality parameters, clinical, operational. And we do monitor, and it is a continuous process. Patient safety and quality is our jargon, and we do follow religiously. Now coming back to the building use. Certificate. Now any municipal corporation will issue two kind of certificate, that is commercial use or hospital use by hospital use certificate. If you are leasing or buying the portion of the apartment, then there might be commercial use certification, and if you are creating a new structure, then they will issue a hospital use registration, and this is only one time. It does not require any renewal once you get, until unless you do major structural change in your existing structure. Now second is the biomedical waste. I am showing in the chronological or in the sequential order. This is the first BU, and second is the biomedical waste. GPCB, online application after getting the just now common biomedical waste management facility, that is in Rajkot Distro Medi services there, who is taking care of this waste management. So you have to get certificate from the Distro Medical Services that you want to generate the waste with the quantity, approximate quantity. Then you have to apply to the GPCB, that is the online application. Once the application is lodged, facility inspector will visit in a hospital. They will see the how biomedical waste management has been planned. Just now Dr. Sanjay showed few examples that they will inspect. And if you complain, then if any recommendation you have to rectify, and if you are complaining, they will issue a certificate for collection, disposal and storage only. But because transportation and disposal, final disposal is responsibility of the Distro Medi Services. Then renewal, coming to renewal, GPCB is every 2 yearly, and this Distro Medical, which is local here, that certificate is renewal every 3 years. Now next is fire NOC. If you are building a new hospital as per the National Building Code, and that is BU permission, then you already get fire NOC before implementing this project. But if you are buying or leasing some portion of building or apartment or any commercial property, then you may have to obtain, if you are starting a clinic, then you have to obtain a hospital fire NOC. So what is the procedure? So fire officer, your regional fire officer will come to the visit. They will recommend if anything is there, then final inspection after implementation, and rectify if any deviation again. A certificate will be issued by the Fire Safety and Fire Emergency and Safety Department after successful inspection. Renewal is every year, you have to do renewal. After getting these three, then and then you can apply for a hospital registration. That is, I want to start a hospital. It is as simple as like baby's birth, so we need a birth registration. It is like hospital registration, it is a birth registration for hospital. So what is the application process? It is done in the municipal corporation. Application done for 1 to 10 by 11 to 25, 26 to 50 or 51 and above. To fulfill the application prerequisites, that is the doctor degree certificate, BU permission, the tax bill, paid receipt, GPCB certificate, validation certificate form, this biomedical waste management facility, there is CBMWS, nurse qualification, BU permission, fire NOC. This all we have to attach with this application form, and certificate will be issued by the municipal corporation. And that will be, they will issue two types of certificate, that is yearly certificate and 5 yearly. That depends what you opt for. Whether you want to go for yearly or you want to go for 5 yearly. The fees are different. Then after getting registration, hospital registration, then and then you can apply for a diagnostic X-ray. That X-ray unit layout, where you are planning for an X-ray unit, that layout has to be approved by ARB. So once you will get approved layout from ARB, then and then you can install the X-ray. Which are the safe X-ray machines available in the market? List is given in ARB website. Which are the safer, which emit the less radiation. So QA test, after getting this layout approval, ARB diagnostic, which are I told you, the equipment specification is given in ARB website, which equipment you can buy for less harm. And then after installation, you need to do a quality assurance test. whether how much radiation that X-ray or CT, MR is emitting. Then personal TLD batch that you have to opt from a regional laboratory. That is VA Commander Renitech, Mumbai. So after that, compliant with these 4 things, certificate will be issued by ARB, and this is a one-time certification. Then coming to PNDT, this is applied to the district health officer. We have to give written application. After written application, again facility inspection, they will see whether signages have been kept or not properly, that we don't do any sex determination here, and they will inspect the facility. After doing that, DHO will permit the MPP after 20 weeks, and it is renewal every 5 years. Coming to the MPP, written application for DSO, again the district health officer, facility inspection, DHO will issue a certificate permitted up to 20 weeks, and there is a mistake. PNDT, that is for USG, it is not for 20 weeks, but you are doing for X-ray unit, ultrasound machine. This is for MPP. If you want to do MPP in your hospital, then they will permit up to 20 weeks, and this is only one-time registration. Gujarat lift and escalator, if you are buying or owning some portion of the commercial property, this is mandatory if you are planning to go for any accreditation. There is a lift license. That is again a lift installation drawing has to be approved. If you are planning for a new installation or existing, you don't have to do it. Company installation certificate, apply for a final inspection. The chief inspector, lift and inspector will issue a certificate that is valid for 3 years. Electricity, again there are certain National Building Code, there are certain electricity norms which we need to follow. So there are prescribed guidelines given by the electric department, Gujarat Electric Department, and we have to comply with that when you are building a new facility, closing any observation after inspection. Area electrical inspector will visit, and this has to be done every yearly. Again, I have to say, jaate raho. Now, pharmacy sale and pharmacy purchase. If you are planning for any pharmacy sale and pharmacy purchase, license cannot be issued on the name of doctor. It has to be issued in name of the pharmacist. So, if you need to have pharmacist. So again, the application has to be done to the Food and Drug Department. Application along with doctor's details. Facility inspection by Food and Drug Inspector. Certificate will be issued by the same, and it is renewal every yearly.
What is the fee?
Fee structure I don't know really, honestly.
Over table or under table?
That we have to decide. Excise permit for storage of spirit, alcohol or narcotic drugs. This is done, application is available at Area Prohibition Excise Department. Same every time you have to fulfill the application, pay the facility inspection, kudos any non-compliance. And this certificate will be issued by District Superintendent Prohibited and Excise Department, and this is renewed every yearly.
It's for 5 years, sir.
Sorry?
For 5 years.
It is depend on the size of hospital.
Okay. Sir, particularly narcotic drugs is issue on the basis of anesthetic certificate.
Yeah, it can be issued, right?
It is not on the basis of pharmacist.
No, only pharmacy I told. Pharmacy sales and purchase, you need a pharmacist. But narcotic drug can be used issued in the name of doctor, anesthetist. Then I am not going to detail, but further there are other legal obligations which are prevailing in our area. There is the Epidemic Disease Act. We need to control any epidemic disease. Equal Remuneration Act, Indian Medical Council Code of Regulation, Information Technology Act, NACO Guidelines, National and Weekly Holiday Act, Protection of Human Rights, Consumer Protection Act, Payment of Bonus and Act, Payment of Gratuity, Contract Labor, Employee Provident Fund, Minimum Wages, Maternity Benefit and Child Labor, which we need to follow. There is no license required for this except contract labor. But most of the time we don't exceed the limit. There is a 20, if we are hiring more than 20 employees in a basis of contract, then we need to opt for license. Then how we have kept the tracker for the legal compliance. Every year there are numbers of licenses we need to renew. There are few one-time. So we have kept a certain pop-up system in our HIS. There are one-time licenses, yearly, 2 yearly, 5 yearly. So them valid to or valid from. This way we can at least remember which license to be renewed at what time. Now legal consequences. Few legal consequences which we need to follow, and this is most of the at presently going in the consumer court. List of the concerns which are mandatory at presently in any practicing nursing home or any unit. That is the admission consent, MLC registration, anesthesia consent, any invasive procedure consent, HIV testing, patient photography consent, blood transfusion consent, restraint consent. If you are given time for the time patient after sedation, that also requires consent, because you are restraining the patient. That is against the human rights. Dialysis consent, cardiac stress consent, physician rehab consent. Other important and statutory obligation which we need to report regularly to the local authority. That is the notifiable disease reporting, which is at presently done online. MTP, death and birth registration. PNDT form to district health officer, TLD batch quarterly to the concerned lab, that is our Renitech. Retention of medical record 3 yearly as per the MCA guideline. Thank you. Any queries? This was, I have focused mainly a very small hospital which is 10 to 15, 20 bedded, not more than that. Because depend on the size of, if you are not doing kidney transplant, you do not need a certain license. So it is a depend. So I have targeted at presently only small nursing home. Thank you. Yes, because we are doing a movement. If anything goes wrong, we are liable for that. So that needs a license. Yes.
Do we need RSO certificate for from AERB?
No, RSO we have to appoint, but usually it is available as a consultant.
Is it mandatory appointment?
It is a mandatory. It is a mandatory. We need to appoint a RSO which are now available as a consultant. They are not telling you need to hire a RSO. You can appoint a RSO as a consultant, as and when required. You can take a suggestion whenever you have doubt. And your TLD batch reporting reading has to be certified by RSO. How much exposure your employer you are getting, that has to be certified by RSO. After a certain limit, employee need to be shifted. If radiation reading is more, that need to be shifted from radiation unit to non-radiation unit. And that call will be taken only after consultation with RSO and clinician. Second.
Say if you hire a person,
Sir?
if you hire a guy whose age is about 70 or 15 years, you can take him as a employee?
It is again child labor. Above 18.
Above 18 or above 14?
Above 18.
Then above 14 is what? Because I have read somewhere.
No, it is above 18.
It's above 18.
Above 18.
Juvenile act. Above 14 there is a juvenile act.
So it is above 18. If we are hiring any employee, it has to be above 18. Only thing is this law, if we find this difficult, but if something goes wrong with that child, then doctor is gone. Because this day child labor, woman, this and that is going to top notch.
Is there any upcoming licensure for robotic surgery?
No, not yet, not yet. Only at presently what difficult any clinician or a hospital faces is there is no single window for obtaining license. If one clinician has spent his 10 years of life in just passing this MES or MD, and after that he need to go to a 15-20 windows for getting a license, that needs at least 1 year, I can say, if he is doing individually. So at least that's why I told try to identify nodal point. Single person has to do. So everything is around him, and that gives a better coordination. And nowadays many consultancies are available which deals with this legal things. So if you want this